WrestleMania 41 is almost upon us, and I'm pretty optimistic that they'll pull out a good show, because I'm still kinda honeymooning the WWE after the long overdue departure of Vince McMahon. So, today I wanted to delve into some of the wildest WrestleMania storylines in the WWE games that I grew up with. We gotta start with the initial SVR, right? This was definitely the sleaziest wrestling game ever made. I don't know what kind of horn dog energy was surrounding the Yuke's dev team in 2004 when they decided to make the alternate story path for WrestleMania a triple threat tag team ladder match for the underwear of Trish Stratus. What the fuck? What went through the Undertaker's mind when he read this script out loud?
Yeah, and now that you're here, you could be our manager. I think we'd make a great threesome.
But yeah, I mean, this is a real thing that happened, and your reward, besides the underwear, was a victory party with Trish Stratus. Even as a kid, I thought this storyline was super out of pocket. But hey, I mean, if you have a WrestleMania game storyline that you remember, holler at me in the comments. I read them all. We're on to SVR 06 now, and it was plain to see that the resurgence of ECW popularity heavily influenced the development of this game. The ECW revival in this game was way better than the one we actually got like a year later. RVD was the spearhead of this new ECW, and he was just punking everybody out. He was presented really well. And then Jericho comes in as an ECW vet and reveals that he was the driver behind Teddy Long's hit and run, which blew my mind as a kid.
You can join up with the new ECW, or like the rest of Smackdown, you can keep on getting your ass smoked by Rob Van Dam.
That was awesome. They were cooking here. Taz even defects to ECW and chokes out Michael Cole. But of course, you know, you win at WrestleMania as you usually do, and the chairman comes out to denounce ECW. But tell me why Vince McMahon 3D's RVD through a table at WrestleMania. What the fuck was this? When did he ever do anything like that? On to SVR 07 now, and we're looking at the Bride of Kane storyline. Kurt Angle ends up making an unlikely alliance with Melina for whatever reason, and then even crazier than that, the BOD just straight up abduct Melina. For what, I have no idea. And Kane shows us his pyrotechnicality firsthand. But yeah, I mean, Kurt ends up finding Kane after that shit and just beats the brakes off of him. As a result of that severe ass whooping, we get to WrestleMania and end up in a triple threat against both Brothers of Destruction in a Hell in a Cell. These games used to love putting Hell in a Cell at the end of the story mode for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, we beat the shit out of them both and win the Undertaker's World Heavyweight title, actually snapping the streak prematurely. What a ridiculous but kind of underwhelming WrestleMania. Alright, on to SVR 09 now, and everybody remembers this one. The Undertaker's road to WrestleMania in this game was crazy. This was the most goofy ass storyline they ever did in a wrestling game at that point. It starts off innocently with the odd Finlay and Santino alliance that actually kind of wrecked the dead man a little bit. Then they speak of the man, and unfortunately it's not Ric Flair or Becky Lynch, it's Boogeyman. Then Taker ends up selling the urn like death at the Royal Rumble. And I completely almost forgot that this weird stable was called New School. They didn't even try, did they? Boogie ends up murking Kane at No Way Out, and the path to the WrestleMania main event is clear. Of course, you know, we had to turn the boys into fucking zombies first, but I mean, you know, whatever. But tell me why The Undertaker goes Super Saiyan before burying Boogeyman once and for all. Like, this cutscene in the Hell in a Cell was not needed at all, and this storyline was fucking ridiculous. Our final entry here comes from SVR 2010. This is my least played entry in the series, but it's a pretty sweet little story here. The women's revolution starts early thanks to the goddamned Miz. Jesus Christ, how many times do I have to bring up the Miz on this channel? For the life of me though, I have no idea why Mickie James ends up wearing street clothes for like half of this season. But we actually got our first mention ever of a Women's Royal Rumble here, and the beginning of Natalya stalking our hero.
I knew I was a chick magnet, but apparently I'm a skank magnet too. How about that?
Dude, Jesus Christ. This is prime PG era too. Thankfully though, the Brian Kendrick jacks him up and rizzes up Mickie too. God knows why. Then we start a retread of Mickey's storyline with Trish Stratus from back in the day, and Natalya ends up copying Mickie like that time that Patrick wanted to win SpongeBob's award. After that nonsense, we get a women's and intercontinental title tag team match with both belts on the line, and Natalya ends up costing us all of the gold out of spite. Here we are at WrestleMania, and just like that, our stalker is disposed of like a Barry Windham pink slip. I really like this one. It was cute and indicative that the women in WWE were ready to be featured prominently long before they actually got a chance to be. I hope y'all like this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Happy WrestleMania season. Take it easy.